Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Riki Oh, the story of Riki, a Hong Kong action comedy from 1991 that was actually based on a Japanese manga, and is also one of the most hilarious cult movies you will ever see. And I am not exaggerating when I say this. Riki Oh is truly one of the most insane, perplexing, laugh out loud experiences you'll ever have while watching a film. But before we get to all of that, let's cover the basic plot, and it's quite basic. So, set in the futuristic year of 2001, all correctional facilities have been privatized. Our protagonist is Riki, a martial artist and former musical student who was sentenced to 10 years in prison for manslaughter. One morning, in the prison bathroom, an elderly inmate named Omar is viciously beaten by the captain of the cells, Samuel. Can you tell this is a Chinese movie? I don't know. Riki interrupts and saves Omar. So one of the other inmates suggests that they should release Zorro. I'm not making any of this up. A dangerous, morbidly obese inmate to kill him in retaliation. But that's not all, because Riki must also face the infamous Gang of Four, who rule each of the cell blocks and look over the opium fields that lie within the prison grounds. Alright, so outside of the ridiculous plot, one thing you'll need to understand about Riki Oh is that it is excessively violent. It's rated a Category 3 by the Hong Kong Motion Picture Rating System, but unlike many films that earn that rating through nudity and sex, Riki Oh earns that rating through violence alone. There's really no nudity or sex in this at all. And that means there is tons of blood and guts in this film. But it's not the kind of gore that will disturb you. Okay, this movie will not disturb you at all. It's the kind of gore that will make you laugh hysterically. Okay, so let me give you an example, just to give you an idea of what you're getting into here. You know how in some movies when two opponents throw a punch and they hit their fists at the same time? What will usually happen in that case? Well, number one, they both kind of cower back and they shake both their hands in pain. Both guys get hurt. Or the weaker guy gets his hand hurt and the stronger guy doesn't. Well, you know what happens in Riki Oh? The weaker guy's hand explodes into a mist of blood and guts. Well, there's no guts in your hand, but blood and gore. That's how it ends in Riki Oh right there. Now, let me give you another example. Near the beginning, during the aforementioned prison bathroom beating, a man is tripped and falls face first on a wooden plank with nails sticking out of it. So his face just comes right down on it. It basically impales his face. However, the gore effects in this particular scene are so obviously fake that the viewer can tell that a poorly rendered mannequin was used as it hit the nails. Now, these scenes may not sound funny when I describe them, but trust me when I say that when you're watching them, they are hysterical. I've seen this movie with people who don't even like violent movies at all, and they love Riki Oh. They love it, because it's basically a comedy. It's an action film, but a comedy too. But cheesy violence isn't the only thing that makes this movie so entertaining. The storytelling structure and numerous plot holes provide much in terms of chuckle-worthy, nonsensical events. If you think about anything in this movie for more than 5 seconds, it completely falls apart and makes no sense, which is great for a film like this. It really is. It's really hard to explain it in words, but the sloppiness of all of this is very intriguing, actually. I think one reason it works is because the characters play everything so straight. No matter how ridiculous this movie becomes, the characters almost always play it straight. It allows the viewer to laugh at it, and that, I think, is important. It doesn't have all of that, wink, wink, look at how crazy we are, self-referential dialogue, and fourth wall breaking that we see in a lot of, modern-day spoof films, which this is not, but just to give you an idea, it's something I don't like about a lot of the contemporary spoof-like comedies, is that they're always wink winking at you, and they're like, oh, look at how crazy we are. It doesn't feel like it's earnest in its badness. You know what I mean? Riki Oh is earnest in its badness, and that's what makes it so great. So it successfully rides the line, okay, between intentionally funny and so bad it's funny. So much so, in fact, that you can't really tell if some of the humor is intentional or not in this. And that's another reason that makes this movie so intriguing. Now, there are some scenes, like the ones with the warden's son, that are obviously trying to be funny. And those are actually the least funny moments in the whole film. But, those are kind of the exception that proves the rule here. Riki Oh is definitely one of the most fascinating B movies I've ever seen. Now, a few more thoughts before I wrap up this review here. I highly recommend that you watch Riki Oh with the English dubbing. So choose the English audio. This is one of the few times that I will ever say such a thing, but the English voice acting really adds to the humor, man. This movie is infinitely quotable. Like, there's some liners in this one that are just amazing. Really good stuff. Now, the director here is a man by the name of Nagai Choi Lam, who I covered a few times in my Asian Horror Year in Review playlist. For example, when we covered The Peacock King and The Cat, which is excellent. Most of the movies in his filmography are worth a look, just so you know. So if you love Riki Oh, go watch The Cat. I think that one was made the year after Riki Oh was, so that was 1992. And then just go from there. Those are his two best, I think. So, in summary, if you have that certain sense of humor that is attracted to like B movies, you simply have to watch Riki Oh. You have to do it. It's really a must-see, man. And it's widely available on DVD. So, as always, we'll see you next time.